She's 49 years old.
I'll send a shot though.
She's irrelevant.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah.
Let's call a spade a spade.
Mm-hmm.
Was she brought on the Joe Budden podcast because of her deep inquiry into politics?
Nope, because she's fine.
Or her deep knowledge of music? Or was she brought on as an aged out video vixen? There's so much to the feminization of culture. Mm-hmm. And they're conditioned to see a world where you always have to agree and talk in favor of them. So when you're a 50-year-old woman who still can't figure out how to get along with a man long term, your opinion is effectively irrelevant about how to even recognize what's the difference between misandry and misogyny and the genuine opinion that just disagrees with you.
Damn.
She's functionally irrelevant.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope everybody's having a beautiful day. Today we have a video from the Daily Wrap-Up crew, 3 brothers that are doing like amazing work. And we also have, I think joining them is Jeff St. James. Now he is the creator of the Ask a Brother podcast. I've had him up here a couple of times. I like to have the compilation videos, but I also like to, you know, have some serious man talk, you know, like just some boys hanging out. This is the type of conversation that I think that we should really be having more often than not. But without further ado, let's get into the video.
How old are you?
21.
What do you think a man looks for in you out here?
Pussy the fuck? Niggas is worried about pussy. That's what they worried about.
So you're not worried about dick?
No. I got a man at home.
You got a man at home, but you're out here like this?
Because I'm not out there like them bitches.
But you out here shaking ass on 6?
Not for them.
Then for who?
For me and my friends. They like my ass.
Well, look at all the men around here.
They ain't got shit to do with me.
You don't think that's a mating call?
Bitch, I ain't no animal.
Then what are you?
A woman. The fuck? I'm a woman. I'm not out here to impress no nigga out here. My man is at waiting home and for me. And I'm for him.
So he doesn't care that you're shaking ass out here in the middle of the street?
He doesn't, because I'm not going home with them. I'm going home with him. He picking me up.
Jew, what's your thoughts on this?
Flabbergasted. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to, you know, really, one, I want to know if she really got a man. Women be out here lying, saying they got a man. Because if you got a man, I don't think that motherfucker care about you. If you got your ass and titties all out in the streets, you out here, you know what I mean, appealing to the other eyes of other men. And I think women don't consider the danger they put their man in when they out there looking like hoes or prostitutes or promiscuous or walking in or garden tools or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? 304s or whatever the case may be. You're putting your man in danger because he has to defend you. When a guy comes to you aggressively, because men will approach you on how you present yourself. Mm-hmm. So if you present yourself like a lady, 9 times out of 10, he gonna treat you like a lady. If you present yourself like you ain't worth shit, people tend to treat you like you ain't worth shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's right, but I'm saying that, you know, the feminist mindset, the sexually liberated, or I could wear whatever I want to wear, is something that's holding back successful relationships in my eyes.
He's right. He's absolutely right. I'm not going to keep on stopping it, but let me get this off real quick. He's absolutely right. These women who think, well, I can just do this by myself. I don't need a man. I don't care what they say. They don't realize that how you dress, people will, what's the word I'm looking for? People will treat you and address you how you are dressed. In a perfect world, this wouldn't happen. But men understand this. Men understand if I need the job, then I can't wear my pants sagging. I gotta pull them up. I gotta pull them up and get in there in order to get this job. Women will say, well, I want a man. I want this beautiful man, but I still want to do what I want to do. And then expect the same results as if a woman who's more modest and more to herself and who's not in the streets is getting. It's crazy, man.
You know, women want to feel like they can control, you know, and I'm not saying there's a problem with them wanting to control their image, but why does your image why is the image of a woman being celebrated is like based off her body being exposed? So, I mean, those are my thoughts. I want to hear you guys.
Jeff, what's your thoughts?
We did it, Joe. Yeah, I think this is the final form of feminism in the end. It's just in its final form and most expressed in our community, unfortunately. In the past, every single civilization has probably had, to one degree or another, a separation between women, the women that are of class and potential wives, and then the women who, women of the streets, the concubines, the streetwalkers, the escorts, the strippers, if you will. There was always a clear divide, and everybody knew the rules. Both the ladies and the men knew that. With feminism, they wanted to blur those lines, and they convinced a generation of women that they could, I call them double dippers. This is where you can act like, dress like, behave like the women that's normally seen as women that are selling themselves and objectifying themselves. They want to be able to have the freedom to do all of those things, but they also were taught by the feminists and society that you'll be free from the consequences of doing that. So when they end up with men like she claims, I view them as males. They will always be able to find a male that's willing to accept their OnlyFans being still up, still accept them twerking all crazy, still doing all the girls trips and girls out and everything. There's always going to be males that accept that. But as they get older, or if they want certain things, the type of man that they may want typically starts to shift and change. And it actually moves away from the guy that's more liberal and totally okay and accepting of you being able to do all this stuff, to a man that actually has a little bit more independent or conservative vibes and standards in this area. And the shocking part is, it's also, I think, related to birth control. Birth control, believe it or not, actually changes. And if you look at data and stats, they'll show how they've done studies with women when they were on and off of birth control. And that when they were on it, they were actually more attracted to like feminine, more demure, what's it called? Timothy Chalamet, the slender, small, almost even effeminate, liberal-ish kind of guy.
Gotcha.
But then once they get off of it, they actually want guys that's normally more aligned with more rugged, stereotypical aligned things that aligns more with guys that often tends to be in terms of how they dress, jawline. They even showed the same guy with two different jaw sizes.
Crazy.
And how they reacted based off of what was in them. So I think it's a multi-tier factor for sure. But basically what I'm suggesting is they've been taught that they can do, act, and be and exhibit all those same behaviors of what we normally would think of as reserved for the strippers and the escorts, but that there will still be the positive outcomes on the other end and that they'll be free from the consequences of it. Unfortunately, most women are finding out, and they will find out over the next 5 to 10 years, that's not the case.
Let me stop right there just real quick. So that study that he was talking about, when women are on birth control, it changes how they view men and the type of men that they want. He's absolutely right. If I find that study, because I've seen this study before, and I've actually like did like a deep dive, a deep read on it. If I can find it again, I'll put it in the description. But yeah, a lot of women are gonna wake up one morning and realize I wasted all of my good years. How I was acting. No, look at, I'm not even gonna call anybody specifically, but it's already starting to happen with celebrities, with everybody. You just can't act like a hoe or a stripper and think that it's okay and then expect the same type of results that a conservative woman's gonna get. It's just not gonna happen. And these women are delusional for thinking that way.
A video and having countless conversations with women on this show about their body, their choice, and they should have the autonomy to be able to dress however they want, sleep with whoever they want, and with no fear of ramifications. And I'm just like, we all know that's not correct, but like you said, there, especially with men, because we understand that's not correct, and now they're trying to shame and guilt us into believing or thinking that. And a lot of men are folding under that pressure, you know what I mean? Because a lot of men are, solely driven by their sexual needs, which is why we are a lot, black men specifically, why we are kind of in this situation, because we have been coddling women so much because we wanted to have sex with them. We don't want to,
raised by them.
Yeah, we don't want to actually say what's on our mind, because now that's all we hear that.
No pussy.
Yeah, you talked yourself out the panties and stuff like that. So you actively have men who are just feeding into this delusion because of selfish desires. Like, let me just lie to her, like, because I want to hit. Like, you know what I mean? Instead of just checking her in that moment, or more men checking her, she now thinks it's okay because there's enough men who are simping and whatever term you want to insert. So now she thinks, oh, well, other men would tolerate it. Like, you know, you might not tolerate it, or even if
that is true.
You are critiquing me,
true.
something must be wrong with you. And now the guilting, you hate your mother, you hate black women, you hate women, you're misogynistic, and all of this stuff to try to guilt you into feeling bad about having a critique of something that you know isn't right. Like, you know what I mean? So
what is that shit called that Mario was talking about? Oh,
the dirty macking?
Yeah, because motherfuckers will be dirty macking, telling her what she want. Yeah, that motherfucker fucked up.
He insecure. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I just heard Justin LeBoy telling Quilla, oh, anybody that fumbled you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, telling her exactly what she want to hear. He like, oh, we going out after this. You know what I'm saying? The agenda is to get your drawers, not to take you serious.
Well, yeah, man. Listen, if you've been conditioned to think that you're the prize in every interaction with the opposite sex, then of course, when the situation doesn't work out, you'll feel like it's their loss and that they're the narcissist.
Yeah.
So that this stuff goes hand in hand. All these talking points are a lot of times connected when you think about how they've been conditioned for the last 60 years.
Yeah, you also brought up that like everyone knew, like, there was the wives, there was the prostitutes, whatever the case may be. Everybody knew their level. At this point, I don't know if we know.
I think we do.
The only reason why I say that, right? Because there's a lot of men still putting those women on a pedestal now. Before, I don't know if we were. I can't remember the time they were at the pedestal. They are respected, and the reason why they feel that way is it's obvious in their action. And you know, I'm not single, you're not single, but even Eli, I want to ask you too. Like, do you think it's hard for men to like acknowledge what a good woman is, because, or a woman that you will want to make a wife, because they're also bottled up? Would you be able to, know which one has the right intentions? Because she went to college, she got a good head on her shoulder, but she's still dressing like the girl that's in the club. You know what I'm saying? Do you know, like, and I'm not just saying it's just all looks, but they kind of starting to have the same mindset. Whether
they're wearing a uniform.
Facts, man. If y'all are all dressed the same, how is a good man supposed to tell you apart? If you're a good woman, right, and you're listening to this, let me ask you something. If you're a good woman and you know that you're ready to be a wife, I'm just gonna assume and give you grace and say that you're ready to be a wife. If all of your friends conduct themselves as streetwalkers and you hang around them, do you honestly think a man worth his weight in gold, or worth his weight in salt, I can't remember how the saying goes, is gonna come up to you and talk to you when he sees that you're surrounded by ratchet girls? Is natural for him to assume that you are the exact same as them. But women don't see that. They don't see that.
Uniform.
But I'm talking now. How would a single guy?
It's not.
I think that comes with maturity. Like, even as I'm getting older, I'm able to like take off that veil and start to be able to differentiate certain qualities, characteristics that I wouldn't have paid attention to when I was younger, because I was only concerned about sex. You know what I mean? So now that I have controlled my desire for lust, you know what I mean? I'm able to see things for what they are. And I think it takes men to get to that level of maturity in their life to be able to understand and differentiate like that. Those type of characteristics, it's not going to be sustainable. Like, and you know this, like, you know what I mean? And you can't let your dick determine, like, you know how they say men we think with our dicks, like,
yeah, for sure.
And that is true. And once you stop thinking with your dick, like, you able to just make more clear and conscious decisions. And I think it comes with a level of maturity, like, as you get older.
For sure.
Well, what you said when you said like a lot of guys aren't getting it, there's actually also a lot of guys that are, and this is my reference point. Which demographic is now the lowest when it comes to marital rates?
Black men.
Which demographic has the highest rates of divorce?
Black women.
Their equivalents or their peers, meaning black men, are their marriage rates increasing?
Yeah.
So I actually think a lot more men are starting to wake up to the game. And how do I know that there's something to this? Are our women now starting to be the loudest complaining about the manosphere? Complaining about red pill? Complaining about men talking in these spaces?
Yeah.
Men are waking up and they're picking carefully. With more of them are starting to pick carefully if they are going to pursue dealing with a black woman here in the States. A lot more, and this is the other thing. A lot of the women that you're talking about, if you're seeing the trend, more and more of them. Okay, did we notice all these famous female celebrities and influencers that starting to get up there in age, and they was at one point the hottest this and that, and they're still not the most beautiful women at one point, and they got the money and this or that, and how few of them are actually coming off the market. If they're rich and much more attractive than the average women, and they're not getting the outcomes, and the overall demographic, the marriage rates are the lowest in the country. That's not an indication that men aren't getting it. Men are actually starting to wake up. And then lastly, if the percentage of women in the community has a higher rate of them having children than the men are, that means men are focusing on two areas that they still have control over: who I can give a child to and who I give a ring to. So it turns out, yes, black men are actually starting to figure it out. They just have all different approaches of what it looks like.
Yeah, one woman specifically.
That was beautifully said.
That I'm thinking about, and I don't want to take no shots at her, but I'm thinking about Melissa Ford.
Bow, bow, bow.
And
Not even Melissa Ford. Melissa Ford, Vivica A. Fox, J. Lo, Taraji P. Henson, like the Amber Rose, Tia Mowry. The list can just continue to go on. All of these women that are gorgeous, but they're single because they're just modern.
And throughout the course of the couple of years of even her being on the Joe Budden podcast, and I told you months ago, like,
Yeah, you did.
I told
You did.
months
You did.
ago, like that wasn't going to last.
Oh,
And-
her staying on the show.
Yeah. Because she sounds very bitter towards men, and she's so, from my understanding when I watch her, she's so concerned, and just like plenty of women, they're so concerned on trying to dictate what men can think and feel. And like it's like, you know, you look at her as somebody who is a video vixen, is a gorgeous woman. Even to this day, she's still gorgeous. I'm not taking it away from her. But she hasn't have no serious suitors. She's not married. Like, you know, and she almost.
I don't want to be married.
Yeah, but she's saying that, but it comes off as a bitterness. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why aren't these men attracted to me? And I'm not saying a lot of women in those situations have used their beauty to carry them through their career. And this is the ramifications. You didn't develop the other skills to make you a quality, suitable partner. You only rely solely on your looks. And now that you don't have that man, now your anger towards all men is just, every man is misogynistic. If they don't agree with me, then they're misogynistic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even her pushbacks on the Joe Budden podcast, and she'll try to paint them out as being misogynistic. And I'm not saying they don't have some misogynistic viewpoints, just like she has very misandrous viewpoints. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just how it goes. I don't think any of them was blatantly disrespectful, but they did question her and challenged her a lot. And she looked at that as, you shouldn't challenge me, I'm a woman. And that, because they challenged her and made her think
Then
critically,
now
now it becomes misogynistic. It's a shaming tactic. And even to go back to Kevin Samuels and, man, the sign language. And man, he emphasized that sign language, and, you know, he's no longer here. But, you know, that still resonates with a lot of men, and now a lot of men are dissecting that, the shame, and so guilt, need to be right. Like, a lot of those things are coming up constantly, and that's how they try to control men. Like, you know, so
Listen, I'll send a shot. She's 49 years old.
I'll send a shot though.
She's irrelevant.
Yeah.
To be fair,
Yeah.
let's call a spade a spade. Was she brought on the Joe Budden podcast because of her deep inquiry into politics?
Nope, because she's fine.
Or her deep knowledge of music? Or was she brought on as an aged out video vixen? And she's older now than she was when she got on the show. So now that you're jaded, like you said, and like you said, she and a lot of women who think like her, the Tracy Ellises of the world and other ladies, I wish them well, but they are the final form of feminism in the black community. Women who have to still focus on getting the bread and figuring out. And the crazy part is, if you sold yourself and objectified yourself the whole time, you loved the men then. But now that you're not going to get those same suitors and you can't charge those same type of rates. And now that mystique is kind of removed and men now see you as just a person.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, like you said, if you're conditioned, when we talk about it more, like when there's so much to the feminization of culture, and they're conditioned to see a world where you always have to agree and talk in favor of them. So when you're a 50-year-old woman who still can't figure out how to get along with a man long term, your opinion is effectively irrelevant about how to even recognize what's the difference between misandry and misogyny and the genuine opinion that just disagrees with you.
Damn.
She's functionally irrelevant.
One of the things I want to touch on before I end this video, Eli was talking about how in today's time, if you don't agree with a woman, then they will automatically assume that you are misogynistic or you hate women or you're toxic or you're a narcissist. Even if you give them logical thinking and just common sense talk, that instead of them confronting what you're saying with their facts or their thought process, they'll just immediately start going to the shaming and calling you all types of names, which is what Eli was talking about with Kevin Samuels. Now, obviously, that this isn't going to change anytime soon. But just think about this really quick. How do you think how did women become like this? Not all, but most. How did they become like this? When you're raised up being told that you're sugar and spice and everything nice, and that you are the prize and all of these other things, you are naturally going to have that type of mindset. So women grow up thinking that into their 30s, thinking that. And then when their looks start to fade and men start to see them, see them as a regular person, that when they're not all starstruck by their beauty anymore, and I can see you like, oh, you're just a regular person. Now I can really see you for who you really are, which is what's happening to Melissa Ford. We can really see who Melissa Ford is now, because even though she is still pretty, she's not as gorgeous as she was. And now we're seeing that she's just full of shit for a lot of the time. But guys, that's it for today's video. If you haven't done so, hit that hype button. Send this to somebody. Send this to somebody. The channel's growing. I'm feeling good. I hope you're feeling better. That's it, and I will see you on another one. Click this video right here in the left for a good video, or if you're still rocking with me, click this one on the right, and I will see you on another one.